Hi, my name is Ken, author of the book Pathway to Nirvana, a how-to book on how to achieve extreme happiness. And the name of this video is entitled Eckhart Tolle Benefited My Life in an Unusual Way. Now, years ago, long before I wrote the book, I would tell people about my theories about how the human mind worked and about the techniques I've come up with to increase happiness. And one thing I would hear from people is that, oh, you're talking about Maslow's triangle or Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And when I wanted to learn about the mind and come up with techniques that would work towards increasing happiness, one of the subjects I studied was psychology. And it was very upsetting to me that I found absolutely nothing that could be used to increase a person's happiness. And the same holds true for Maslow's triangle. So it actually became a source of frustration for me that people would mention Maslow's triangle. So now when Eckhart Tolle became popular, what happened was when I would tell people about the techniques I've come up with to increasing happiness, somewhere along the conversation they would mention Eckhart Tolle. Well, that was actually a blessing to me, because Eckhart Tolle, you have a lot of things you could talk about now. One of the things people are not aware of is that Eckhart Tolle is giving people advice on how to achieve happiness, how to be happy, yet he suffers from depression himself. Now, it takes a very brave person for the person to admit that he or she is depressed. But a coward is not going to admit that he or she is depressed, but rather a coward is going to tell everyone that they're happy in life. So, following advice on how to achieve happiness when a person is depressed is the equivalent of asking a broke homeless person how to become wealthy. The whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. If you want to know how to achieve happiness, you ask a person who is depressed, right, and achieved happiness, how he or she did it. The same holds true for wealth. You don't ask a broke homeless person, you ask a person who went from being broke to being wealthy. Now, Eckhart Tolle became well known because he fit a role people needed in the media for them to get viewers. For example, Oprah Winfrey, what she would do is she would hype Eckhart Tolle and the other gurus she would have on her show. For example, you would hear her saying, I'm having an aha moment, or wow, that was deep. And what that does is it subconsciously causes the person to believe that the person has some kind of knowledge or wisdom that would help them. Now, the important thing to all this is that the knowledge they give does not help the person. Because if the person were to achieve happiness, they would no longer need to watch Oprah's Life class. So the idea or the trick is to have people believe that what they're given will help them, when in fact there's no long-term benefit whatsoever. Maybe a short-term benefit, maybe they might get excited about hearing how a piece of information is going to help them out in their life, but in long term, nothing. That way, the apprentice does not outgrow the master. The person always stays locked in, having to watch the show, hoping that one day they'll find a piece of information that would help them out. And Eckhart Tolle was hyped up so high by Oprah that even I fell victim to it. And I went out and bought a New Earth on audio CD and actually listened to it. Now another thing about Eckhart Tolle being hyped up is that Watkins' Mind, Body, Spirit has him listed as the second most spiritually influential person on the planet, second to only to the Dalai Lama, right? Now, once again, we're looking at a situation where here's a guy that is depressed, cannot resolve his own depression, right? And he's second on, so that's something that's very interesting. But yeah, but I still have a lot of respect for Eckhart Tolle because he did write books and he's very successful out there, and he put himself out there, and putting yourself out in the public eye, you are opening yourself up to ridicule. And I think that it takes a very brave person to do that. Now, before I go, I just want to say, please watch my other videos because I give information on there that will increase happiness, as well as in the book I've written here. Right between the videos and the book, you will have enough information where you will be able to become naturally happy, where you naturally feel good feelings, emotion as you go about your day. Achieving happiness is one of the easiest, and it is also one of the funnest things you could ever do. It's almost as fun as having sex, right? As far as I'm concerned, there's absolutely no excuse for a person not to feel good feeling emotions as he or she goes about his or her day. Thank you for watching.